down.
Start with a statement and get into questions.
Well, just want to say thank you. Obviously, Josh runs the whole athletic department, but all the people that made the game happen today. I mean, starting working yesterday. I saw your tweet when I was kind of waiting to see what the stadium looked like, so I sent that on to all my coaches because it didn't look too good about 4 hours out. But I knew there was a lot of things in place. Never been part of a game where somebody tapped. Usually I'm getting in trouble for being on the field, but they tapped me and I looked and I just about got clipped by a tractor going by with a snowplow. So it was kind of a unique game day experience. Super excited. Bret informed me earlier in the week. Obviously, we were 11-2 the last 2 years here, to go to 12-2 to win 12 games here in Geese Memorial, the most it's ever been in 2 back-to-back seasons, is pretty awesome. I know when we came here we had lost 6 in a row to Northwestern, so I think this win total put us to 4-1. So just the amount of growth that we've had in that area. There's so many people to thank, but mainly just our seniors, those 30 guys. Now hopefully not all of them are leaving me. I know that a couple guys jumped in just in case, but super excited to get this W for our guys like Miles Scott, Luke Altmire, and so many other seniors. Gabe became the Big Ten sack leader today, right? So to have that happen, just absolutely awesome. We got to wait a week to find out where we're going, but to have back-to-back bowl games, something that hadn't been done very often around here, just super excited for that. And bottom line, to get a Landon Lincoln Trophy, with 2 trophy games every year, and now for 2 years back-to-back, to have all of those in our possession between the Northwestern and Purdue game, very, very special. So super excited. Wednesday is a big day. We got sign day coming in. I think this will be one of the best classes I've ever been able to assemble. I'm super excited about this group and what they can bring. So we'll celebrate tonight. I gave the guys tomorrow and Monday off. They would have thought I gave them all a car for Christmas. So they've worked very, very hard. They should enjoy today and tomorrow. And then we'll kind of get back to work on Tuesday and see where we go for a bowl game at the end of the week. So with that, open up for questions.
What has this senior class just meant to you?
What is a senior class, man? Well, they've changed the perception. John Asamoah was our guest captain this week, and I met John. Martin O'Donnell was the guy that actually recommended him to us, and Martin and John had played together here, and I never tell the guest captains what to talk about. And John came in, and the first thing he said to our guys, he actually said, "Hey, I'm here to applaud you," right? Like, I'm living in St. Louis now. I'm a former player. When he was in the league, there wasn't a lot of great things happening here, and now he's down in St. Louis, and people know him and who he is and where he played, and people come up to him, and he was telling to our guys how much pride he has in what they've built here. And I think that's really something cool for our guys to hear. I think they lose sight when they're here, and we had a couple setbacks this year that were tough to swallow, but to know where we've gone and the journey we've been on, and to have 5 years building this thing. The thing is crazy. I just think about a lot those 2 years that we didn't get to a bowl. We were 1 game away each one of those years. Could have been, but I just think it's great to see signs of what's going to come, and these seniors are a huge part of it.
Bret, for your defense, for the ups and downs it's had this season, have that kind of day to lead you to a win. What's that mean? What's it say about Aaron?
Yeah, a lot of good defensive players. I give credit to Aaron and the defensive staff. Did a lot of really, I thought, good game plans. So I told our guys last night, there is nobody in the country that has put more into a game plan than our coaches. We planned for regular weather, adverse weather with snow, adverse weather with rain and freezing, sleeting conditions, 35 to 55 mile an hour wind gusts. So I thought we had kind of a plan all day long. We were just a little bit ahead of wherever we needed to be. I thought that part, managing the game, was really, really, really good. I was pissed at myself. I let the time run down on that third down that was a 3rd and 4, jumped to a 3rd and 9. That can't happen, and that's definitely something that we can learn from. But our guys' resiliency was really, really awesome. Yeah. Well, he came here as a wide receiver, a non-scholarship player. I always tell him, like, literally after the first spring drills, I knew he was a DB. I just couldn't do it to him because he was paying his own way, right? So I remember after that second year, I said, "Hey, my friend, I got an idea. I'm going to give you a scholarship. You got to move to defense." And, the good thing is his good football right here, but I think he'll be a really good NFL player. They're very excited about him, and today was another great accent for that.
We've asked you a lot about Luke Altmire over the years, but this is the last home game, and obviously you got one more for you. It's just what's he meant to you, and today, tell me about it today.
Well, he's kind of us in a nutshell. I literally got a text from his mom on Friday that brought me to my knees. She talked a little bit, not to great detail, but when they dropped him off in that apartment 3 years ago, not knowing what to expect, and to have him come out on the back end of this thing as literally one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in college football. I know we got one more game together, and I'm going to do everything I can to send him out the right way, but his future in the NFL. It's funny. Thursday morning, I got a text from Tommy DeVito on Thanksgiving, and you know, he's in a place right now that I don't think he could even dream about when he was coming here, and to see that come to fruition, I can think Luke Altmire is probably going to be very similar. You know, I think he could be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but to see those guys get to where they are, and I think Luke is going to have a very similar path to Tommy.
Another senior, Gabe. What's it been like to watch him develop? Huge throw today, big wide receiver this year. What was it like to watch him?
Yeah, he's you know, we ran that play for a couple weeks. I've liked it, and obviously you know, great execution. He read through it. Just really fun to see him, you know, progress to where he is. I wish they would have let us come through with a 5 for 5, because I think that kid's just scratching the surface of what he's going to be. And you know, as a freshman, I just felt we needed to play him. So you know, unfortunately, NCAA won't see the light on that one. But if I could have him for one more year, I think we'd rule him something special. But he'll get a chance to play in the NFL, and you know, it's only fitting. I think those hats that we were wearing, those are from an organization in Springfield to benefit, you know, or talk about the promotion of people visiting Springfield with the Land of Lincoln Trophy. And I saw Hank Beatty come rolling through with that top hat. So they weren't going to get one of those things on my head, but it was fun to see all those guys have it.
Bret, when you see Gabe turn it on like he did in the second half, you've coached pass rushers everywhere you've kind of been.
Yeah.
Where's he ranked?
You know, Gabe, when he is an engaged rusher, he's a really tough task to block. He's so powerful. He really does lean well. It bends well. He's such a high motor guy, a great power. It was fun to see him grow this year, even in some adverse moments. He's probably been one of our most steady performers. And you know, I don't know how high he's going to go in the draft. He'll probably be, in my opinion, probably our highest draft pick. And you know, it hasn't come easy. You know, he's worked very hard. His mom sent me a picture of them on Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday, because they came in town Thursday. No, it was Thanksgiving Day, of him on his official visit here, you know, 4 years ago. And I just, man, the kid looks like he's 10 years old, right? He's always I've always looked at him like a kind of a grown-ass man, but like in that photo right there, he looks so different than what he is now, you know. And yeah, he's just absolutely awesome.
But the defense, the way that, you know, it seems like every time there's been a tough game,
Yeah.
What specifically do you see in the course of?
Well, I think to say that they didn't, you know, last week was kind of a raw deal. Like, I mean, they could have done better, right? There was the one big play, but they've been resilient. It hasn't been clean. I'm really going to enjoy working with them during the bowl prep here, kind of figure out exactly where we need to go. But you know, Aaron's a very prideful guy. Terrence Jamison, Archie, Corey, and Trent Harris and Alex Panos in the outside backer room. Those guys are all a lot of pride and kind of buckle up. You know, we lost probably our best, you know, for sure our best secondary player, corner, right? Xavier Scott. When you lose a guy like that, it's very, very hard to kind of pick it up and just say, okay, we were going to do this with them, and you don't have that guy. So I thought they've done a really good job of cycling through, and then at the end of the game today, they did exactly what they needed to do to win that thing out, and the 2 interceptions, one before the end of the half, and obviously the one at the end of the game were really big.
Brett, to finish
One more
with 8 wins this season, I know you guys had higher goals, but to finish with 8
Yeah.
rather than 7, what's that mean
Well,
for you guys
I
going
think,
into the offseason?
you know, I had somebody point out to me, they sent me an article. They asked me at media days in Vegas, right? Like, how would I define a successful season? And you guys know how I am. I'm like, I wouldn't give you a number, right? But I did say, hopefully we're playing our best football at the end of the year, right? And I thought today was really good. This was a tough day to build in, right? You know, it kind of evens out everything. I think this has been the year of the response. You know, Indiana, the game the way it went to respond against USC. Then to lose the game at Washington, and have the 2 back-to-back games with Rutgers and Maryland go the way they did, and then obviously the unfortunate part of the Wisconsin side. But like, you know, I think totality-wise, I always have to look at what's really. I want to win them all, right? But I have to look at what's in front of us. This signing class, coupled with an 8 win and get a chance to go to the 9, like there's some. I think very seldom do I ever, you know, like I think there might be 3 or 4 guys in this signing class who are day 1 starters, right? And that gives us testament to who we can compete with, right? I've literally never been, even, you know, 3 Big Ten championships at Wisconsin, I never could get on the guys we're getting in on now, right? And getting them to come here and visit, and then also land them, and that's a really big deal.
Right, with the conditions out there.
Last one.
Is it brag at all about how much both teams went to the air, how much success you guys
You know, great question. But Luke, actually, we saw this, you know, all throughout his career, but especially this year, we'll be practicing in there. And you know, there's some days in Geese Memorial where it's really windy, and Luke throws an incredible. I actually felt better about him going into the win than him going, with the win, right? Because when he goes with the win, sometimes you can overthrow and it's hard to gauge. He knows exactly throwing into the win what he needs to do. I thought our kicking game was really, really good. The reason I didn't go through it, I just want to have that momentum go at the front end here. But David went out and hit two huge kicks. Thought our guys fielded the ball extremely well. I was watching that Michigan-Ohio State game. When I saw the weather going this way on Thursday, I give my wife a lot of credit. She lets me, do some things. Thursday we got done with our Thanksgiving dinner here. Then I came back and I watched 2 NFL games and 2 college games that were just bad weather games, just about how the games are played and getting their feet in the ground on defense. We didn't do a lot of slant and a lot of movement. I really wanted to learn from some teams that had played in those exact same. Arkansas played Missouri last year on November 30th, almost the exact same type of game. And here's a school that's 2 hours. It was just 2.5 hours south of us, right? That was very similar. And I showed how the game progressed. I showed that to my team Thursday night, and I just, I just, as much as they give us, I want them to know we'll give them all that in return. And nothing really shocked me today. I think our kids were prepared for the moment. Our coaches were as well.